I'm live. Hey everyone, it is Diane Flores. Let's see if that country Wi-Fi gonna cooperate. My dogs are running over to come and check me out and see if I'm talking to myself. Hi guys, you want to be part of the video? Come here. Come here. This is Roger. Roger, can you say hi to the people? To the people? It says my connection is weak already. I'm not surprised. Roger, are you surprised? He's not surprised either. Well, today I'm going to be talking about, let's see if my connection cooperates here, but Roger and I are going to be talking about 4 mistakes that people are making when it comes to setting their New Year's resolutions. And there's probably more than just 4, but I'm going to talk about, are we going to talk about, Roger? The 4 common ones that I've found over the last decade, coaching women in the studio, doing coaching, having private coaching clients in the studio with me. And what we usually work on when it comes to setting ourselves up for a transformation in a transformation program, sort of your mindset around the entire process, right? So a lot of people, and this was me included, thought that, you know what, just give me that fancy meal plan. I'm just going to go exercise, and that is the recipe for success, right? Like just that's the answer. I would hop from online program to online program or coach to coach and think like, they have the magical meal plan that's going to make this all come together. When in actuality, I needed to start a few steps behind that process and start with getting my mind right and wrapping my head around the concepts before I even launched into any sort of meal plan, any sort of exercise plan, before any of that was even going to work. So number 1 I'm going to start with is not committing. So I learned this just through hearing people make New Year's resolutions. And if some of you are on my Facebook that participated in the little question that I posted yesterday, chime in. I'd love to hear that you're on here. I think Pamela was one of them. But I had asked, like, what are your plans for 2017? What is it that you're going to do? Are you going to get like a new fitness tracker? Are you going to try a new meal plan? You know, are you going to try some sort of, you know, fat burner? I like to do some research, see where people are at in their fitness journey, kind of get some feedback. And, you know, I see that a lot of people will say, you know, I'm going to try to work out 3 times a week, or they just set like loosey-goosey goals. Now, to get down and dirty and to get serious about making a transformation, it's all about what you say and what is going on between the ears, right? So if you say, well, I'm going to try, so this is one of mine. I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to try to get to yoga twice a week in addition to the other stuff that I'm doing. Doesn't really sound very solid, does it? It's very like out there. It sounds like a great idea. If I do, if I do, if I don't, if I don't. What if I say I commit to 2 days a week of yoga? That's so doable. It sounds much more straightforward. It sounds more grounded in my speaking, and it's very committed. It's very much out there. So it's not a half-ass resolution like, I'm going to try to eat healthy. I'm going to try to exercise. So find out what your commitment needs to be. And I suggest you start off really, really slow, really, really basic and easy. And that is going to go into another one of my 4 mistakes in just a minute, but not overcommitting. So get yourself set up to something that sounds super doable. So if you have not been exercising at all, and you haven't been for quite some time, it wouldn't make sense to say, I'm going to try to work out 5 days a week, or I'm going to try to work out, you know, 6 or 7 days a week. Let's start off with something doable and make that your commitment to yourself. Well, I commit to getting in at least 1 workout a week. So if you guys can still see me, give me a thumbs up. Let me know. Type in, I'm here. I know my connection is saying I'm weak, so that maybe I'm frozen on your end. I just want to make sure. Number 2, the second mistake I see a lot of people making, and I find out sort of on down the line when clients are coming to the studio for a while, or I'll get some DMs and people will ask me questions about fat burners, or what do you think about raspberry ketones, or what do you think about HCG, pills, potions, and magical concoctions and things like that. And if you take anything from this video, if you take anything from this video at all, I want you definitely to, share this video for sure. I would love it if you could share it, because I'm really adamant about women. I'm really adamant about women not doing fat burners, not doing these quick, let's do HCG. And there may be some benefits to the HCG strategies. I'm highly against it. I have seen women go on these HCG diets and they're limited to, 400 or 500 calories. I could be incorrect there, but the bottom line is if you are going to be eating 400 or 500 calories, you are going to lose weight. Whether you have the HCG or not, there is going to be weight loss that happens. It is not recommended that you eat that low of calories to begin with, but my point is that paired with the HCG that you'd be taking, and then following that, adhering to that diet, there is going to be some weight loss that occurs. Now, what I want you to ask yourself is that a realistic way to maintain your fat loss? So when you take out the fat burners, when you take out the HCG, whatever that pill is that you think is going to get you those expedited results, when you stop taking them, what is going to happen, right? So you're going to gain all that weight back. You're going to wreak havoc on your metabolism. You're going to wreak havoc on your hormones, your cortisol. Everything is going to be out of whack. So naturally, when you stop taking it, there is going to be some fat gain that occurs naturally. So that is just a Band-Aid. So we need to work on the foundation. So what is the foundation that you need to set and put in place so that way you have success over the long term? And that is really what my core mission is with, training and coaching women. And if there's some men on here that benefit from this as well, that's fantastic. But getting them set up in those foundations from the start, so that way you aren't trying to work on these, go-to quick strategies for success. Does that make sense? Okay. Thank you for sharing my video, Pamela. So, yeah. So, if anything, I can't preach that enough. As far as staying clear, ladies, please, I beg of you to stay clear of the diet pill section in your local pharmacy or at GNC, Vitamin Shop, yada, yada, yada. Any of those places, please go walk the other way and go get some multivitamins, go get a good omega-3 fatty acid, get some 5-HTP to balance your mood, your hunger, your cravings. Focus on those. That's going to be more of a holistic type of supplement versus getting these crappy fat burners that are filled with all kinds of ingredients that you can't even pronounce that are going to freaking mess with your shit. Like I was on fat burners. Totally instant gratification. I was on fat burners for way too long. And for those of you, if you've tried fat burners, before, please chime in. I'd love to know. But my experience with fat burners has never been one that has been pleasant. And yeah, they may have helped me expedited the fat loss process in the beginning, but ultimately this body, your human body, is wonderful at adaptation. It adapts very wonderfully. So it gets acclimated to the fat burners, and then guess what? They don't work anymore. And then now you're relying on them for energy, and it just becomes a habit. So there's all kinds of crazy side effects with fat burners. I was losing my hair. I had increased heart rate. So I was experiencing heart palpitations. And then you pair that with coffee. Oh my goodness. Then you're a force to be reckoned with. Your house is probably like spick and span at that point because you're like on crack and like whacked out. So I was irritable and anxious and all this stuff. So I didn't mean to go on a full-on tangent. Yeah, they cause heart palpitations, but I'm super passionate about keeping women off of the fat burner train. No, 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 it's totally terrible for you. And trust me when I say that the slow and steady way is the way to go. So, you know, definitely taking the route of the tortoise, not the hare when it comes to fat loss. There's also a saying, you know, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So taking your time with it, not trying to go, you know, and do some crazy fat burner, HCG, anything like that. Please do not. Stay with the slow and steady route. So that was my tangent. You guys, I know I went a little crazy there on the quick fixes. I definitely want you to steer clear of that. The third mistake that a lot of women make, or people in general make, is going too hardcore right out the gate. And I have been guilty of this time and time again. I see this time and time again at the studio where clients come in and they want to go hardcore and come in 5 days a week and hashtag no rest days. And so then on their days off, they're like at the gym or they're running miles or doing all this crazy stuff. And then they're also at the same time trying to do strict hardcore diets. So raise your hand if that sounds like something you've done in the past. Let me know. I would love to know, because trust me, I know I'm not the only one out there. So, and if you're wondering what I'm drinking, I brought it with me because I was too lazy and I needed another tea bag because I'm drinking this entire thing. And so, yeah, so roasted dandelion root tea. This is a great natural way to de-bloat, by the way. Raise his hand, Callie May. Yeah, okay, so hardcore is not the way to go. And the reason why I say this, and a lot of times I know that in the past that I've done this, because it's like you want that immediate result right away, right? You're like, okay, I want to go hardcore, give me the diet plan, I'm going to work out, and you know, and it maybe lasts, just depends. Everybody's a little bit different, but sometimes it's like, okay, it's been 2 weeks and no results have happened yet, and like you just want to either give up or you want to add more, right? So that you're either usually in one of two camps. You give up because nothing's happening, or you're just like, I'm going to add more cardio, I'm going to add more exercise. So I'm trying to get you to navigate the middle in that. So what if you look at where you're at right now? So I'm not going to give you like a prescription of like 3 days a week. You know, a lot of girls are like, well, how many days should I be working out? I'm going to tell you that this is how you should figure out. Each person is very individual, and it depends on where you are at right now. So if you are at 0 exercise, it would be ludicrous to assume that you are going to go from 0 to 5 days a week. And I have a really great friend. She may be on here. She does my nails. And she tells me, you know what? I have to go hardcore. I can't just do 3 days. Da 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 da. And every time, then she tells me, you know what, I couldn't do it. So it's this ping pong effect. So what you want to do is, where are you at? Are you working out 0? Then if you're working out 0, realistically, maybe 2 days a week would be a great place to start. Nail those 2 days a week down. Maybe you do 2 full body workouts twice a week and call it good. Or maybe you start leisure walking, or you do something, just something better. Something is better than nothing, twice a week. And then once you have got that consistency down for a month, then maybe let's add day number 3. Okay. But you need some consistency to feel like accomplished, right? Who like feels like super badass when they've nailed their goal for the week? Like, you know, my goal is 3 days a week of weight training, 2 days of yoga, 2 days of running, or whatever your prescription is for yourself. When you feel like by Friday, you're like, okay, I got exercise in, I feel good, you know, everything's great. So yeah, like raise your hand if you know what your number is, right? So set yourself up for success, because ultimately then the weekend comes and then you start beating yourself up because you're like, oh, you know, I told myself I was going to work out 4 days this week and I only got 2, so I failed. So let's start off by setting off those small goals, which isn't sexy and fun and like totally hardcore, which I know does not sound normal coming from me, Miss Hardcore ex-bodybuilder, right? But I'm telling you, that's how it has to start. That's how it started for me, you know, many, many moons ago. So that is where you need to start if you're starting at ground zero. Now, if you are already training and you want to mix things up, I'm a huge advocate of that. Maybe you add in some HIIT training. I've just recently started adding in running. Who knew, right? And, you know, I'm going to increase my yoga, things like that. So just mixing it up and finding stuff that you enjoy, finding maybe a friend or a tribe, a workout tribe of people, a community that keeps you motivated is very, very important. And that's gonna keep you wanting to work out. I know that that definitely is a huge part of it for me, for sure. So, and then on the diet side of things, because I know we talked about, or I talked about, and you guys are here joining in the fun, is that don't go hardcore with your workouts. But more importantly is don't go hardcore with your diet, okay? Diet is, I'm sure you've seen this, a lot of people have posted this on Facebook and Instagram about how nutrition, or basically what you put in your mouth, is 80 to 90%, and there's some different schools of thought there, of your results. So you can work out 7 days a week, but if what you're putting in your mouth, this is my snack for today. These are good, by the way. These are yummy. This is peanut butter cream. The salted caramel one is delicious, but anyways, just saying. But if you are putting in, you know, junk food, soda, lots of sugary treats, things like that, then you're definitely not going to reap the benefits of your exercise. But on the other hand, you cannot expect to go hardcore. So if you are a junk food junkie, which, hello, I lived on Taco Bell and Jack in the Box for a very long time and thought that Carl's Jr. was healthy. So if you are going from, that would be the equivalent of going from zero exercise to like 7 days a week exercise, right? So if you know that you are living on lots of like boxed foods, processed foods, junk food, whatever, however you want to label the way you're eating, and you think that you're going to go to like chicken breast and broccoli for like 6 meals, you know, all day long, that is setting yourself up for failure. So what I always recommend is that you start with baby steps. And I don't like taking stuff away per se. So like stop eating all, you know, white bread or whatever. Yeah, we all know that that stuff is bad. I think everyone knows deep down what's good for them and what's going to give them, you know, expedite their fat loss versus what isn't, right? I think we all know that, you know, if you go to the produce aisle, you see apples and fruit and veggies and stuff. We know that, but it's just because convenience factor, taste factor, you know, emotional eating, whatever, we tend to steer the other direction. So you can't expect to eat a diet full of processed foods and go to that. So what I encourage you to do is that if you decide to start on a meal plan, that you maybe look at the meal plan, and this is what I always suggest for my clients, like when we do 12-week transformations or any transformation program in general, is look at the meal plan and look at what looks good. Like, what could you realistically see yourself swapping out for what you normally eat, or what could you add? So my biggest go-to, my easiest go-to, because I like to add things versus take them out, because when you start adding in greens and healthier foods to what you're already eating, your taste buds start to change and you crave the other foods a lot less frequently. So adding in things like a smoothie is my go-to. So buying bagged spinach, you know, getting a nice, you know, just use a blender, throw some ice in there, grab some almond milk, throw in some frozen berries, and a good quality protein powder, not like a weight loss shake or anything. I'm a huge advocate of women getting in enough protein. Blending that up and adding that in. Have that along with your Pop-Tarts. I don't care. The fact that you're adding in something good, eventually you're going to start craving the Pop-Tarts. I'm just using that as a random example, which I actually have some in my pantry right now because my son's visiting. But you'll start eliminating the processed foods because you're adding in healthier stuff. Pair that with, let's say, 2 days of exercise, your smoothie. When you start exercising, you start kind of naturally wanting to eat better because it makes you feel better when you start exercising. So the two go hand in hand and lay that foundation for you in your healthy lifestyle. So does that make sense? If you guys have any questions, throughout this. I know there's still a handful of eyeballs on me. Feel free to pop in the comments. I'm going to scroll back through. But yeah, you know, the other thing is I was going to do another video probably next week is when I posted yesterday about like, what are you going to do for 2017? I saw a lot of comments about nutrition, and that is something that I'm really, really passionate about. Especially just having gone through my own battles with nutrition and then coaching women through the same process and working with women online and in the studio. So seeing it from all different angles is that I used to overcomplicate things. So when I first started, you know, walking into the store and seeing just, you know, like how a grocery store is set up, and I'm like, I need to eat healthy. What does that mean? I have no idea what that means. So starting off with a meal plan at the time just was like, okay, this person's telling me what to do. That's just easy. But I made things way harder. I would try to make salad. And, you know, I appreciate a delicious salad. Don't get me wrong. That's like my favorite thing in the world, especially when someone else makes it for me, y'all. But I would go and think like salad, like, I think this is before they had pre-made salads, but I would buy like the lettuce separately and the celery and like everything. So I'd have like a huge counter full of like 25 different ingredients, and I felt like I had to chop everything. And so it was like an all-day process. I don't do that anymore. I ain't got time for that. So bag salads are my best friends. I'm sure you've seen those in where they have like the lettuce and the spinach and everything, bagged stuff. Pre-made salads, start adding that in. Okay, don't get freaked out about like dressings and croutons and all that. The fact that you're eating green things and adding that into your diet is perfect. And then you start eliminating things as your taste buds change. But things like that, like bag salads are super easy, incredibly convenient. They're pretty good. I can get my kids to eat it. And then the other thing that is a gem and a lifesaver, and Callie, I don't know if you're still on, but you had mentioned like food prep was a challenge, and a lot of women struggle with that, is, you know, and buying pre-made meals and things like that, is getting those little rotisserie chickens, or they have like rotisserie, I think they have like turkey breasts and things like that, is getting those. In fact, I did that a couple days ago, got 2 of them, shred all the chicken off of the rotisserie chicken, shred all the meat off of the rotisserie chicken, and then add it to your bag salad. You have dinner or lunch, because I've been eating that for the last couple days, for a few days, and they make different varieties of salad. They have a kale one, a Brussels sprout, so tons of amazing green stuff that you can start consuming and make it super duper easy. Do not make food prep extremely challenging. Like, I still will do food prep here and there, you know, like if I have extra time, but I have a ton of people at my house right now, so it's just easier for me to go the convenient route and still stay on track. Does that make sense? Who is a big fan of the rotisserie chickens? Like, they are my best friend. I used to be anti-rotisserie chicken because I was so concerned about like the seasonings and everything they put on it. But the reality of it is that I would rather you eat a rotisserie chicken than a burger from McDonald's. Yeah? Okay, last but not least, I love these videos because I'm getting you guys to comment in here, but last but not least is, don't set yourself up for failure by not having a sound support system in place. Now, of course, a support system in place at home is ideal, but I know firsthand, just from my own personal life, my own personal experiences in the past, that is not always the case. Sometimes you have a spouse or a boyfriend or fiance or somebody who isn't on the same path as you are, and that is okay. So it is okay for your person to have a separate set of goals, or maybe they're not where you're at, or maybe they don't care about, maybe they don't care about eating healthy, or that's not a concern. So setting yourself up to have that foundation is super important. Ideally, it's great to have your loved ones on board with you, your kids and your family. And I know a lot of women that start with me freak out because they're like, how am I going to get my family to eat like this? And I always tell them, do you, boo-boo. Okay. So do you worry about mom or, whoever, like if you're the person at home that does all the cooking and whatnot, worry about you, and don't try to convert them, because they're going to go down kicking and screaming. Trust me, I know. So what that's going to look like for a while is navigating Your dinners and your meals are going to be different, and you're going to be frustrated and whatnot. So when I'm telling you the bag salad rotisserie chicken way is a great way to go, that works perfect in situations like this, when your family or the people in your household aren't on board with eating how you eat. Your dinner is going to be ready in 5 minutes, and then you need to fix whatever you need to fix for them. But eventually, as mom or the person in the household that's making the changes starts making them, it becomes a little, they see it, they want to try it, they're interested, and then you kind of persuade them that way. Then you get mad because they eat all your food because that was sweet. But no, you don't. You ultimately want them, you want your family and loved ones on board with it, but it's not always going to happen. So it's important that you set yourself up with a support system. So if you are starting at the gym, okay, if you're headed to join the gym, you got to find a buddy who is going to be your PIC, your partner in crime, who's going to go with you when you work out, who isn't going to bail on you, who's going to be reliable, someone that is going to be able to hold you accountable, right? So I know that in the past, I've had workout buddies that were not a good match for me because sometimes I need a little kick in the booty too. I know I seem like I'd be the one, like the motivational cheerleader and all, which 9 times out of 10 I am, but there'd be times where I'm like, look, I don't want to get up. My bed is cozy, so I'm not going today. And I don't want a partner who's going to be like, yeah, me too. I'm all snuggled in. I'm hitting snooze. I want a partner who's like, bitch, your ass told me you were going to be there at 5:30 in the morning. Get your ass there and working out. You're going to regret it. You need like a little sidekick cheerleader, right? Someone who's going to be like on your side, who knows what's good for you when you're like trying to bail, right? So that's one option. The other option is obviously, like, I'm an advocate of the studio. So the community there is strong and we all cheer each other on. And anytime we start a program, I have a private Facebook group. And so everybody's in there keeping each other accountable. They'll meet up for workouts. And that's a great thing too. And even if Venus isn't your thing, or Goddess Body Boot Camp, or, whatever tribe you decide to become a part of, get into the tribe. So don't just be an outlier, which is what I usually do because I'm Miss Introvert and I like to be a wallflower and just observe. I want you to engage with the community. So make eye contact. A lot of times in our classes, we do partnered stuff. If you're doing online, I have an online program. I have a link probably above my head too for January Jumpstart Challenge. So there's online communities you can find. If you're not going to do something that's structured, you can find stuff online. But in our online community is super tight knit. We're posting in there every single day. So it's got to be front of mind is what my point is that if you set a goal and it's sort of half-assed and you aren't going into it with a support system, who's there to keep you accountable, right? Like, I don't even keep myself accountable. I hire a trainer because trainers need trainers, like dentists need dentists and doctors need doctors, right? So I know that if I'm not there to meet with my trainer or go to my yoga class in my community that I've, committed to, they're going to wonder where I'm at. It's kind of like Cheers, like, the Cheers of fitness. Same thing in our online community, super tight knit. I'm of course an advocate of it because it's somewhere where you can go and relate to other women who are going through the same thing. So you had a shitty day at work, people brought donuts into the office, seized candy, whatever, and you can go in there and be like, you know what, I caved, I had candy, or you know what, I didn't, I walked by, had no cravings, I was good. So that's where the nutrition piece and having a support system for that, or questions or whatever, is finding your tribe and knowing that you can have backup people and support there for you. So that way you're not alone. Tracking along the fitness journey and creating it to be a lifestyle, which is my ultimate goal for anyone that I come in contact with. So coming in contact with you guys here online, it's just part of my DNA. So when I'm out, wherever talking to people, it's something that I know how important it has been to my life and changing my life and the women that I come in contact with, that it becomes a fiber of your being. It's just part of who you are. So it's not like, yeah, I'm starting this diet plan and this new workout regimen. It's like, I'm finding what works for me And that takes some navigating and then working within that to figure out what works for you. And it doesn't have to be a forever solution. So, you know, I did CrossFit for almost a year, 8 months. And I loved it. I had a great time with it. It was a chapter in my fitness journey, but, you know, I've found what works for me and I've settled into that. And so that is my hope for everyone that, you know, that I come in contact with, is that you just keep staying curious, keep experimenting, trying new things, see what fits. And what's going to work with your lifestyle. So it can't be super intrusive and super long workouts, because who's got time for that? It's got to be something that meshes naturally with your personality, your lifestyle, your family, and just, you know, just who you are as a person. If that's something you could see yourself doing, a forever solution. So, you know, I know that my coach has a couple cool hashtags, which is like the way you move. You definitely have to like the way you move. And my other hashtag is like the way you eat. So when you can combine both of those, it becomes a lifestyle. And then you don't work out because you're trying to lose weight. You work out because it's just part of who you are and what you do. So I'm going to scroll through the questions, but I would love to know what you guys have planned for 2017. Let me know in the comments below. Whether it's, I know I got some really great feedback in the post that I did yesterday, which was like, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, or I'm going to add this. You know, I know some of you are really excited. Maybe you got like fitness trackers over the holidays. Let me know what'd you get. I'm going to scroll through these comments real quick. Let's see. Amanda. What are BCAAs? Pamela asked me. Branched chain amino acids. Give me one pause. I will go grab mine out of the cupboard, and I'll also grab my protein powder so you can check that out. So pause one momento. All right, I am back. Okay, branched chain amino acids right here. So these are the ones I'm using right now, which is Amino X BSN. This is a pineapple, tropical pineapple. I like watermelon better. Watermelon flavor is better. But branched chain amino acids are the building blocks of protein. So it's like they pulled all the important stuff out, put it in a powder, and I will sip on this between or before my workout, during and after. So I just make a shaker cup full of it and I'll sip on it. And this is basically to help with recovery, you know, expedite the lean muscle building process. So that way, if you don't consume enough protein, this is sort of a good backup plan to keep protein, you know, your muscles flooded with protein, especially during your workouts. This is a great one. So it helps, with, you know, with your muscles not breaking down while you're training, if that makes any sense. Pamela, you also asked about protein recommendations. I have been using this one for probably, well, my son is going to be 11 and I think he was just barely walking. So probably about 9-ish years. So this is Ultimate Muscle Protein. That's what that stands for, in case y'all were wondering. Chocolate's my favorite. And then I will mix this in with my baking. So I'm going to post a video, or not a video, a blog in the next couple days on some protein pancakes. I've posted it before, but I'm going to post it again. And I will use for any of my baking stuff. So I also have vanilla and cookies and cream. Vanilla is great for baking. So like protein pancakes, muffins. I'm trying to think of what else I've made. I've used it in a lot of baking stuff. So is really great. Good clean protein, and it tastes great. So there's a lot of different proteins out there. They're all made with different stuff, but ultimately it comes down to what you can drink. So if you can't drink it, it's just going to sit in your cabinet, which I have had experimented with several different options. Cheap stuff from GNC, cheap stuff from Costco. It's not very good. This stuff is very, very tasty. I've used it through all my competitions, you know, when I was cutting weight or whatever. So it's not like a weight gainer or anything like that. So this is my go-to for baking, and then sometimes smoothies. But I also have another one that I love, which is hemp force protein. So for those of you that don't do dairy, vegan, vegetarian, so this is a hemp-based protein. This one is great. It's sweetened. This one I think is sweetened with stevia. Yep, and it's got flaxseed, acai, and it's, I think it has chia seeds. So it has chia seeds in it. And I love this one because I like earthy flavors. So I will make this with, or I will use this whenever I make a smoothie. So if I'm going to make like a green smoothie or whatever with like spinach or kale, I will use my hemp force instead. And I don't know, I have something with like seeds and chia. I just love it. I don't know, it's weird, but it's really, really good. It's a good quality protein. It's really good. It's made by On It. Let's see, I'm just looking at some other comments here. I think I saw another question. Okay, let's see. Protein powder. I thought I saw a question about alternating. Oh yeah. Alternating your training. That's another good question. I usually don't like to do more than 2 days of weight training back to back and like different body parts. You could do like full body splits, but it would be like, you know, one day you'd want to go a little heavier. Like if you want to do a heavier weight training day, if you were going to do full body, and then the next day I would err on the side of like a lighter training, more of like a cardio hit style, maybe with like dumbbells, sort of like how our boot camp classes are and things like that. And then cardio, you know, sprinkled in there. I'm not a huge advocate of using cardio for straight fat loss because, again, your body adapts, and the more you do, the more you're going to be required to do to keep that off. So I like to use it more of like, I'm using it personally right now just for, just to get some cardio endurance, and also more for like, just head clearing and just breathing and, you know, trying something different because I've always said I've hated running. Sorry, Victoria. I know you're a marathon runner and you're on here. Let's see. I saw another pre-grilled chicken strips. I don't think I've used those, Angie. I don't know if you're still on here, but are they tasty? I think I've seen them and I'm like, are those real grill marks? I don't think so. I don't think there's anybody in the back grilling those chickens. But if they're good, I'm totally down to try them. Yeah, but I think that's it. And I know, Pamela. Okay, you guys, so this was fun. The hamsters in my Wi-Fi managed to keep up, so that's great. I don't think I froze anytime, at least on my end. My Wi-Fi kept up nicely. So let me know below what your resolutions are, or maybe what different mindsets you're going to take into 2017 with your strategies and setting yourself up for success in the future, laying down your foundation. If you're now just starting, you know, you're jumping on the New Year's bandwagon, that's totally okay. I know a lot of fitness peeps hate on that, but I will tell you there have been a lot of good that have come from New Year's resolutions, so I'm not 100% hating on New Year's resolutions, because even if that turns some people into new lifestyle design, I'm all for it if that takes New Year's to be the case. So, all right, you guys, hope you have a great Thursday, and I'll see you on the next video.